Good morning. Come on in. So excited to see a full house today. What a beautiful morning to spend together. Good morning. It's the end of July. Can't believe it. Let's sing our centering song together. It's our last time for a little while. We'll bring some new music in for next month. This one's called Peace. When my mind is like a battlefield and my heart is overcome by fear, and hope seems like a ship that's lost at sea, enemies on every side, and I'm tempted to run and hide. Your gentle whisper reaches out to me. Sing it with me. Peace holds me when I'm broken. Sweet peace that passes understanding. When the whole wide world is crashing down, I fall to my knees and I breathe in your peace. Thank you.
Now it's on. Good morning, everyone. We'll try again. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living, Temecula Valley. I'd like to maybe have you all take a deep breath now, get centered in the room, and we'll have our invocation by practitioner Janie Curry.
Peace. Peace. Peace that flows around us, over us, within. Peace. Peace is the depth of all possibilities. The power of reaching greater than any option. More than we know and bigger than we can imagine. Spirit. Now. Here. Within. This incredible moment, the moment that we share right now, is infused with the peace and depth of loving and knowing. And this service is blessed, and so it is.
Well, I've already deviated from my script here, so you'll have to forgive me. I'm now going to ring the bowl 3 times to bring us focused into the room. Now we're ready to begin. This morning we have Peg McLaughlin, who led us in a meditation this morning, took us under the sea. We're all still drying ourselves off from that. She did a wonderful job. She's holding light in the back of the room for us. Also, I'd like to welcome you again to Center for Spiritual Living, Temecula Valley. We're a non-denominational church. We believe in almost every faith. We were founded by Ernest Holmes back in the 1920s. He wrote Science of Mind, which is more or less our Bible. He was a learned man who loved to delve into all the religions, and he took the best from everyone. And if you ever get the opportunity to read Science of Mind, please feel free to do it. It does open your lives to what is available for you. I'd like to now have everyone stand. We're going to have our community song led by Kate and Raymond in I Release.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more trouble, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more trouble, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. You guys sound so great.
Thank you for that. We will now have our spiritual reading by our practitioner of the day, Janie Curry.
Thank you. I like reading fun books. I think you might too. This book is The Responsibility of Awe. It was written by an astronomer, and as she was studying, she realized that she had always wanted to be an astronomer. As a small child, when she learned the song Twinkle, Twinkle, she wanted the star. She wanted to be that star. So this is a compilation of some of her poetry and notes. This one is entitled Myth. What I want is a mythology so huge that settling on its grassy bank, which may at first seem ordinary, you catch sight of the frog, the stone, the dead minnows jeweled with flies, and remember all at once the things that you had forgotten to imagine. And as I looked at this and thought about it, I realized that for us to truly, really be responsible to awe, especially me, I needed to release ego. And Reverend Meg happened to send a delightful message from Chapel of Awareness. It starts with, the ego convinces us it is not safe to be kind or love or heal. It is not the fault of the ego. It is not the fault of anyone. Kindness, loving, and healing are all vulnerable acts, and this frightens the ego, the subconscious. So for many of us, we were exploited in our kindness, in our loving and healing. The deepening we must move and fall into to remove blame and to realize it's just karma, simply cause and effect. So we may heal the echoes of the past and avoid creating new unwanted echoes in our future. No matter where you are in life, your ego will be delighted to give you reasons to not love yourself. None of those reasons are reasonable because love is the answer, not the question. The outside world is good at convincing us there are real good reasons not to love ourselves. And included in that, falsely, selling love as a reason or a reward for good behavior. One more time, we may have learned when we were kids that love was a reward for good behavior, but that wasn't love. That was bait. There's no such thing as conditional love. There's only love and bait. Don't take the bait.
Thank you, Janie. That was beautiful. And as she's saying that, I heard the word ego, and then I go, I don't think I introduced myself. Okay. My name is Gary Crutchley. I'm a practitioner here at Centers for Spiritual Living. So I had to get that out of the way. So I am sorry. So here's the script. I think I'm just going to toss it. It's a free for all today, and hopefully everyone enjoys it. Now we're going to have our song from Kate and Ryman, and I know they're going to do a beautiful job because they always do. So Kate and Ryman.
Thank you so much, Gary. I love it when you're here. You just are so much fun. The streets are pretty crowded. Where does everybody go? If we could only stop the traffic and just say hello. Or am I the only one who hears above the noises? My words will not be lost in all of this poison. 'Cause in this crazy world we're in, it's all about the ripples, ripples, ripples. It's all about the steps we take. It's all about the ripples, ripples. It's simple. The smallest things can make a change. My whisper turns into a voice. The voice turns into a mass of people. And then the whole world sings along. And the whole world sings along. It's all about the ripples. I used to dream in silence almost every night and kept my hero bottled up inside. I know I'm not the only one afraid to take a risk. Just imagine what would happen if we all did. We've got to let the waves begin. It's all about the ripples, ripples, ripples. It's all about the steps we take. It's all about the ripples, ripples. It's simple. The smallest things can make a change. My whisper turns into a voice. The voice turns into a crowd of people. And the whole world sings along. And the whole world sings along. It's all about the ripples. Ryman and Tazari. It's all about the ripples, ripples, ripples. It's all about the steps we take. Sing it. It's all about the ripples, ripples. It's simple. The smallest things can make a change. My whisper turns into a voice. The voice turns into a mass of people. And then the whole world sings along, and the whole world sings along. It's all about the rivers. It's all about the rivers. It's all about the rivers. All right. Thank you.
How about another time for Kate and Ryman? That was beautiful. You know, I don't know that I did Ernest Holmes justice when I was talking about him earlier on. Ernest Holmes believed that what you think is what your life becomes. How you act, how you think determines what your life will be. You don't think about the past because the past you cannot change. You can't change the future because you don't know what's going to happen in the future. All you can do is now. And now is the only thing you can change, and change your thinking now. So as you think is how your life becomes. I thought I'd throw that in. So we now have Reverend Neil Hayner coming up, friend of Charlene's, very highly recommended. He's actually been coming to church for the last couple weeks. So you've seen him hiding in the back of the room. So he kind of knows what's going on. So I'd like to welcome Reverend Neil. He's been a part of the Centers for Spiritual Living movement for over 25 years, beginning at age 21 when he volunteered as an EMT to provide first aid support at a CSL summer camp. That's Center for Spiritual Living. What began as an act of service quickly became a life-changing spiritual awakening, launching a lifelong path of growth, study, and transformation. He completed his foundational coursework at Riverside Center for Spiritual Living, became a licensed practitioner through CSL Greater Las Vegas more than a decade ago. In 2024, he graduated from the Holmes Institute and was licensed as a CSL minister. Reverend Neil has served in many leadership roles within the spiritual community, CSL Community Living, including practitioner, teacher, former co-interim spiritual director, and member of the Leadership Council at the Center for Spiritual Living, Beaumont, a spiritual home he has supported for many years with his heart and dedication. In addition to his ministry, Reverend Neil holds both a bachelor's and a master's degree in education. As an elementary school teacher, he brings compassion, creativity, and curiosity to his students every day. One of his favorite quotes is from Ralph Waldo Emerson. The mind once stretched by a new idea never returns to its original dimensions. Reverend Neil endeavors to carry this message into the world, helping others expand into their highest potential through education, empowerment, and evolution. Please welcome Reverend Neil Hayner.
Wow, it's a little bit of a surreal experience to hear your own bio being read. But then I'm still getting used to the whole like Reverend Neil thing. People tell me that, I'm like, who are you talking about? Oh wait, that's me. So I just want to tell you, yes, I have been kind of like sneaking in here. I like to get out of my bubble. I think it's really good to like go visit other CSL churches every once in a while, just to kind of get out and see what other people are doing. And so I know Reverend Charlene from school. And so I was, I'm gonna come down to Temecula. I came down here and I was just blown away. You guys should be really proud of what you've created here. I just walked into this place and it was like, you could feel, I told Reverend Char, it was like, you guys are just vibrant joy. The whole place is just vibrating. So, and you have great music too. So you guys are just on firing on all barrels. It's awesome. So today we're going to dive in a little bit deep. I don't do anything shallow. I always tell my congregation, I'm here to challenge you. I'm here to go a little bit deeper. And going to that deep place within you. So my talk today is to go deep, the dive of spiritual practice. And I was reading online a few weeks ago about this kayaker, and he was in Argentina, and his name is Andre. And he was kayaking on the ocean, and a pod of gray whale, humpback whales appeared. And he's kayaking with the whales, which is already awesome, right? And all of a sudden, one of the whales comes from underneath and swallows him, right? And for just a few seconds, he's actually in the mouth of the whale. And then just as gently as it had taken him in, it kind of like spit him out, and he was fine, and he wasn't even injured. But you can imagine that was quite a spiritual moment. And of course, you have to think about the whale who thought, oops, sorry, I thought you were breakfast. So he was completely engulfed by the whale. And isn't that like life sometimes? Sometimes we feel like we're just engulfed. We're just taken over by the stress and the confusion and the economic uncertainty and the news and grief and change. How many of you ever felt like that? Like you've just been suddenly swallowed up, unsure of which way is up. You see, there's this thing in our world. We have this thing on the surface. There's the surface. And in the surface, there's all the politics and the conflicts and the drama and the uncertainty. Just waves of it. It's like a hurricane going on up there at the surface. But then, because, we're metaphysicians, which means that we believe that there's something besides the physical. Meta means alongside of. Metaphysic actually means alongside the physical. One way you might explain that is in our teaching, we believe that the unseen is more powerful than the seen. You with me on that? So underneath the surface, underneath the day-to-day drama and chaos and all of that uncertainty, there is a depth. So I'm going to invite you to go there today. Spiritual practice is what lets us get underneath all those waves, lets us get underneath the storm. It allows us to remember who we are, not as some form of like spiritual bypass, but to gather our strength, to remember who we are, remember that we're supported by an ocean of spirit. You are surrounded by an ocean of spirit. Rumi says that we are not just drops of the ocean. We are the entire ocean in a drop. The journey from surface to depth, that is the spiritual journey. That is the path that we are on. It's not always easy, and it's definitely not always instant. But it's available to us all the time, breath by breath, day by day, choice by choice. We get an opportunity to go a little deeper. And so this week I'm using the acronym of the word DEEP. And DEEP stands for decide, expand, engage, and practice. How can we add some depth? How can we go a little deeper into our spiritual practice? Are you ready? Depth is not just a single leap. It's a steady dive sustained by consistent practice. So the first letter in DEEP is the D. And the D stands for decide. When we want to go a little bit deeper, when we want to go underneath the surface of our lives, the first step is we have to decide to make our spiritual life, to make our internal life a priority. Every spiritual journey begins not with a destination, but with a decision. We have to make the decision to awaken, to wake up. We have to make a decision to prioritize our spiritual practice. We have to make the decision to focus not on the world that we don't want, or the world that we're living in, but focus on creating that world that we do want. Every day, we're offered a choice. We can live from fear. We can live from reaction. We can live from surface noise, or we can choose to go deeper, to respond from truth, from peace, from presence. We get the opportunity, we have to have that invitation to live in alignment with the highest idea of who we are and who we can be. Ernest Holmes says that spiritual practice and prayer life. That means that there is this idea of what is possible, what is perfect, what is good. And through our spiritual practice, we're constantly realigning ourselves to that truth. We're checking in with ourselves and we're deciding, nope, I want to be over here. Nope, I want to be over here. That's my decision. Because there's power in decision. Even before we know that it's all going to work out, we can decide that we know it's going to work out. We can have the opportunity before we even get out of bed to decide what kind of day we're going to have. That's our decision. You know, some people say, like, wait till you get home and then your family and your friends and your loved ones say, like, how was your day? Right? But that's the past. What if we woke up in the morning and said, how's my day going to be today? What's my intention? Ernest Holmes says we should daily practice the knowledge that we live in a spiritual universe. We live in a spiritual universe. What does that mean? What does it mean that we call ourselves the Center for Spiritual Living, or that we live in a spiritual universe? It's two things. Number one, it means that there's only one thing. There's one energy. There's one mind. There's one creative intelligence, one spirit, whatever name you want to give it. There's only one thing. And the second part of being spiritual means that the universe responds to us. So when we say something is spiritual, we're saying that there's only one thing and that the universe responds to us. That means that we are in relationship with the universe. The ocean of spirit that we're swimming around is also swimming around in us and through us and as us. However, we get to intentionally choose each day to remember that we want to live and love accordingly. We want to live and love accordingly, like we live in a spiritual universe. Like there's only one thing going on. Like the universe responds to us. We don't just decide one time. Spiritual decision is daily, sometimes moment to moment. In the face of fear, we decide peace. In the face of noise, we decide truth. And I'm a teacher, so I like questions. So a couple of questions for you. What can you decide to deepen in your spiritual life this week? And where are you choosing right now to live on the surface instead of from depth? The first E in deep stands for expand. We dive deeper into spiritual living and our spiritual practice when we expand our awareness. What does that mean? That means we do two things. We contemplate and we approach life with curiosity. Spiritual living isn't about collecting facts or just reading books or just showing up on Sundays. We are the Center for Spiritual Living, not just the spiritual knowing or the spiritual reading. It's about spiritual living every day. It's about finding a deeper understanding, expanding our experience of ourselves and each other in that spiritual universe. I learned an interesting fact about whales this week. And some whales have sonar or echolocation that helps them find their food. And they have that intuition. And so I was trying to figure, I learned that whales that have teeth have sonar. And whales that don't have teeth don't have sonar. Fun fact for you. I'm always a teacher, sorry. I can't turn it off. But just like those whales have sonar, we have something within us that helps guide us. Ernest Holmes called it our intuition. The mystics through the ages have called it the still small voice. That's our sonar. Whatever name you want to give it, this inner knowing becomes clearer when we slow down and listen. Expanding is about curiosity, being open to learn new things about ourselves and about each other. Expanding what we know about each other. Ralph Waldo Emerson says, what lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. What lies behind us is the past. What lies in front of us, the uncertain future, are all tiny compared to the enormous ocean of support and love that we have from within. What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny compared to the ocean of spirit, the ocean of support, the ocean of wisdom and intelligence that is within each one of us. But we have to slow down and we have to listen to ourselves. And we have to slow down and we have to listen to each other. We have to listen to people who are different than us. We expand when we listen to understand and not just to respond. We expand our spiritual practice when we expand our circles of belonging. What is your definition of who belongs and who doesn't? What is your definition of what belongs as part of you and what doesn't? We expand when we accept all of ourselves and we accept everybody in our experience. When we listen to those who think differently than we do, who believe differently than we do, who live differently. This is how spirit reveals itself in the face of every single person you meet. That's how we go deeper. So what's expanding in you this morning? Where are you called to widen your circle of acceptance of yourself or someone else? And are you making space? Are you expanding that space of curiosity? The next E is engage. Engage. We don't just study spiritual principles. We live them. Engagement is where spiritual practice becomes spiritual embodiment. It is, again, the Center for Spiritual Living. That means actively engaging in affirmative prayer, meditation, visioning, gratitude, sacred service, connecting with nature, whatever it is that your spiritual practice looks like. It's not just for ministers and practitioners and the really spiritual folks. It's for everybody. Those are our soul tools. That's what allows us to dive in. Ernest Holmes says, one alone in consciousness with the infinite constitutes a complete majority. That means we're not meant to be passive observers of the spiritual path. We're meant to engage, to pray when we're scared, to meditate when we're distracted, to serve when we feel small or disconnected. I had a spiritual coaching session with somebody a while back, and she was telling me, I just don't feel like I'm making progress in my life, and I just feel like my spiritual practice isn't deep. And I said, well, what does your spiritual practice look like? Well, I get busy, and I don't really have time, and I try sometimes, but I said, imagine you're in a relationship with somebody, and they're like, well, I don't really have time for you. I'll get around to it. I'm so busy. How long are you going to be in that relationship? Because remember our definition of spiritual. The universe is one thing, and it responds to us. That's a relationship. So how much time do we spend building our relationship with the divine? Building our relationship with spirit? We're in a relationship. We're not meant to be passive observers. We're meant to be active participants in the divine dance. You can't be a wallflower. Stand there and watch everybody else dancing. I mean, you could, but you're missing out on the fun. And I know you guys love fun. What practices anchor me when I'm feeling overwhelmed? And maybe this morning, where are you being called to return a little bit more faithfully to your spiritual tools? When you're a minister, you only ever stand up here and talk about yourself, right? So this talk is about me. I've been realizing that my meditation practice has just kind of wandered off. And as I'm getting ready to go back to my school year in the next couple of weeks, I'm like, you know what? I need to get back on the meditation wagon. What is part of us that maybe we've wandered away from our spiritual practice a little bit that we need to get back to? And the fourth letter is P, which is practice. This is where deepening becomes sustainable. Practice is not something we do one time. It's something that we build into our lives, like breathing. I was here a couple of weeks ago to help panel your new practitioners. And I love that we call them practitioners. It's a practice. But here's the thing. Practice isn't something you know. It's not something you read. It's not something you talk about. It's what? Something you do. And we are all practitioners, big P or little p, licensed or unlicensed. See, you don't have a choice whether you're going to practice something or not. The only choice you have is what you're practicing. What are you practicing in your life today? You can practice peace, or you can practice conflict. You can practice being in touch with the divine, or you can practice being disconnected. Whether or not you practice is not an option. The choice that you have, the decision that you have is, what are you going to be practicing? Ernest Holmes says, the repetition of truth convinces the mind of truth. Practice changes the possible into the probable. And practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes permanent. It means that becomes part of who you are, just like breathing or walking. I always tell my fourth graders, they're like, why do we have to do this? I don't want to do this. It's hard. Right? But most of my fourth graders are on some sort of team. They're on baseball, they're on soccer, they're up play volleyball, or they're gymnastics. You don't show up for the game unless you've done what first? Practice, right? You can't show up for the game and not have practice. It's probably not going to go too well. Consistency is our spiritual maturity. So when life gets uncertain, when life gets a little crazy, you have that practice to fall back on. We don't just pray and meditate and do all that work when life is going crazy. That's not the time. The time is to do it before life goes crazy. I had a religious studies professor in college who he always said, don't wait to test your rope. And what he was talking about was you have this rope that when the ground falls out beneath you, you grab onto the rope, right? But you don't want to wait for that ground to fall out for you to test that rope. You need to test it ahead of time so that when the ground falls out beneath you and you're feeling a little groundless, you know that rope is going to hold you. That's your spiritual practice. That's your anchor in the storm. That's your life jacket when you're on the surface and life is getting wavy and crazy. Your spiritual practice is your life jacket, but only if you make it part of your life. It is your life jacket. Practice doesn't mean we float around on some big fluffy cloud. Everything is great. Everything is spiritual. Because that's not always how life goes. When it's like that, it's amazing. But I have news for you. It doesn't always last forever. Sometimes life changes. And we have to have that spiritual practice that we can depend on so that we can be storm ready. Are you storm ready today? If there's a storm in your life today, are you holding on to your life jacket, your spiritual practice? If not, you have an invitation this morning. You see, the whale doesn't resist pressure of the deep. It adapts to it. It slows its heart, it trusts the ocean, and it dives because it's built for the deep. And so are you. You're not built to just skim the surface of life. You're here to go deep, to find calm beneath the chaos, clarity beneath the confusion, and the ocean in the drop. So this week, I invite you to pick one part of that letter, D, E, E, or P. Decide, expand, engage, or practice, and consciously, maybe go a little deeper this week. Choose it, decide it, honor it, and watch how Spirit meets you there. And so I'll leave you with this. Decide, expand, engage, and practice. You get out of your spiritual practice what you put into it. And when you put that your life into it, it reveals what was already within you. You are built for the deep. And so it is.
So it is.
I'd like to thank Reverend Neil. That was great. As you can tell, I didn't put a whole lot of practice into what I was doing today. And this is the truth. I turned it over to Spirit. I said, I know what will happen will be what is meant to be happening. And he gave the perfect definition of what we believe. So if you get the opportunity, go back online and listen to his talk again. That was really good. He did everything I was supposed to do, and it turned out perfectly. And even with Peg and her meditation this morning, where did we go? But into the ocean. So I mean, it's just perfect. And that is what we believe. So now, Kate and Ryman for our next song.
Thank you, Gary. This one's called Peace Be Still by Hope Darst. First time we're doing this one. I don't wanna be afraid every time I face the waves. I don't wanna be afraid. No, I don't wanna be afraid. And I don't wanna fear the storm just because I hear it roar. I don't wanna fear the storm. No, I don't wanna fear the storm. Peace be still, say the word and I will set my feet upon the sea till I'm dancing in the deep. Peace be still, you are here, so it is well. Even when my eyes can't see, I will trust the voice that speaks. I'm not gonna be afraid, 'cause these waves are only waves. I'm not gonna be afraid. No, I'm not gonna be afraid. And I'm not gonna fear the storm. You are greater than its roar. I'm not gonna fear the storm. No, I'm not gonna fear it all. Oh, peace, be still. Say the word and I will set my feet upon the sea till I'm dancing in the deep. Peace, be still. You are here, so it is well. Even when my eyes can't see, I will trust the voice that speaks. Peace, peace over me. You speak peace. You speak peace. Let faith rise up, oh heart, believe. Let faith rise up in me. Sing it with me. Let faith rise up, oh heart, believe. Let faith rise up in me. Keep it going. I'm jumping the octave. Let faith rise up, oh heart, believe. Let faith rise up in me. Keep it going. Let faith rise up, oh heart, believe. Let faith rise up in me. Oh, peace, peace, say the word and I will set my feet upon the sea till I'm dancing in the deep. Oh, peace, be still. You are here, so it is well. Even when my eyes can't see, I will trust the voice that speaks. Peace, peace over me. I hear you speaking. Peace over You speak peace. Thank you.
Now tell me you don't feel better than when you came in. It's time now for our ambassadors to come up. I see Kat and is Letitia here or Jim? Kat and Jim. Excuse me. So now is our time for giving, our opportunity for service. And I'd like you to take maybe a little second here and think of it. Why do you come here? What do you get out of this? How does it make your life better? And I'd like to think about that and also give from your heart to support the center. So let's get into it now. We'll do our prayer, our affirmation of abundance. Okay, this is all ad-libbed, as you can tell. All right, now let's do our affirmation of abundance with gusto. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am prosperous now.
God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Joy, joy is my source. Joy is my power. Joy gives me everything that I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Joy gives me everything I need. How about love? Love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Ryman and Tazari, keeping it hot as always.
Aren't they great? We'd like to now call up, or I'd like to call up Susan Cole to do our announcements.
Thank you and welcome this morning. It's been a beautiful morning, hasn't it? Yeah. And this week, or last Tuesday, CSL TV education began with visioning. Visioning is a spiritual practice and way of life. Rev Shar and practitioner Beth Haas are teaching this 6-week course. The course focuses on the spiritual practice of tapping into Spirit's highest version of our lives. There is still time to join. We will begin again this Tuesday at 6:30. There's a sign-up sheet on the activities table, and it's here in the social hall. So see Beth Haas today, sign up, or just let anyone know that you're interested, and you may attend on Tuesday. Oh, I'm so sorry. It starts at 6. Please come promptly at 6 p.m. Thank you, Beth. This Thursday evening, we have breathwork facilitator Shannon Bryson. She will be hosting a breathwork class, and this will be at 6:30. Breathwork is a wonderful spiritual practice to deepen our awareness of the real self within us. Shannon guides us with breathing techniques and support deeper realization and relaxation. So please bring a yoga mat, wear comfy clothes, and prepare to breathe away. This is a great spiritual practice. I went last time, and I'm still practicing it on my own. It's such a great class. And again, that's Thursday evening at 6:30. Now, our Janie Curry is going to be holding a workshop in August, and I'd like to invite Janie to come up and say a few words about that.
This workshop is all about color. For me, and I suspect for some of you, maybe all of you, when I see a color, it means more than a word. If I look at blue, blue means depth, it means power, it means expansion, it means softness, it means gentle being. But what if I didn't have to say all those words? What if I could just take that color and it's mine for what is the highest vision for my life? And it can be any color, it can be every color, but we're going to play with that in this workshop. So I invite you to come play, laugh, have fun, and maybe find a new space for yourself.
Thank you, Jeannie. And that again will be coming in August, I believe August 3rd. Okay. And other coming attractions in August, practitioner Jim Willis will be offering a wisdom teaching on August 17th after service. He will be exploring how the most important things in life are invisible. That will be a great one. Again, that's August 17th. And then on August 24th, we have Sandra Gregston, and she will be talking about her tarot cards and their deeper meaning. So if you've ever had an interest in tarot cards and their deeper meaning, Sandra will be offering after service a meeting to dive into the working of our inner lion and how this true strength within us can empower our lives. This is a love offering, and all proceeds will support our center, and there will be a sign-up sheet on the activities table next week. Before we get to our Joshua Tree retreat, I would like to take a moment to thank someone who's been integral part of our center and getting our tech system up and running. We would like to invite Justin to come up to the stage for just a moment, please. Thank you, Justin. This is Justin's last full Sunday with us. He's been helping us train. We've got some new equipment that he's really been helping with. He's even leaving a few of his things with us until we get everything together. And he's moving to Hawaii to start a new life and a new chapter. And it sounds like it's going to be great for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we'd just like to present you with a little thank you card. Okay. Thank you, Justin. Thank you to our tech team as well. So we have an annual trip that we do to Joshua Tree. This is quite an exceptional experience. We will be having this in October. There's a sign-up sheet on the activities table. It really is a favorite. We do meditation in the desert. We do gatherings at the hotel, usually breakfast in groups, and sometimes you can just wander off by yourself. In the desert, we walk together, or you can walk alone if you choose. We do some Tai Chi with our dear Beth. We have some massage tables here and there in the desert. We do some amazing things together. So please think about Joshua Tree. I believe it's October 23rd through the 25th. And there is a sign up on the activities table. Please sign up just to get the information. And then even if you can't go, you'll have the information and maybe you'll change your mind along the way. And I think that's it for me today. Thank you, Gary.
Thank you, Susan. Now comes time, I'd like to call all our practitioners and ministers to come up to the stage. And for those who don't know, spiritual mind treatment is the basis for our philosophy. We feel that if you can come to a practitioner, they can do an affirmative prayer for you. You can talk to them. You can open up. You can share what's going on in your life, good or bad, and it can and does make your life better. These are our licensed practitioners and ministers. I'd like to welcome Don Taylor back. We haven't seen Don for a while, a beloved member of our group.
It's a lot more people up here now, huh? It's a good thing. So I invite you to just close your eyes if you're willing. Taking a moment to focus on your breath. And remember with me that there is only one power, one presence, one principle, one creative intelligence that is at the center of everything because it is everything. It is all love, all peace, infinite intelligence, divine right action, and wholeness. It is so much more than we could ever see. It is all that is seen and all that is unseen. Everything that is known and everything that is unknown. It is all being, all life, and all love. And what I know is true about Spirit, that one, I know is true about me. And I know is true for each one of us within the sound of my voice. You are that love, that grace, that peace, that wisdom, that wholeness. And because that is true, I can speak my word for myself and each one of us this morning, knowing that the divine spark within you is shining brightly. That wherever there seems to be a lack or limitation, it is now dissolved back into the nothingness from which it came. Wherever there seems like there is something out of alignment or something less than wholeness, I know that it is dissolved by peace, by light, and by love. And in its place, I just know that there is peace, there is grace, that there is a perfect divine right action happening in the lives of every single one of us. Because that is the nature of the one and is the nature of each one of us. And so knowing that is true, I give great thanks for that truth, for that knowing, for that peace, that understanding, for the ability to go deep and to have that sense of peace. And so I release this word into that infinite law that mirrors back everything that we put back into it, knowing that the divine mind is already working, already present. I simply say, and so it is.
That concludes our service. Please join us in the social hall. I'm sure there are some wonderful reflections. Working hard to get my fill. Everybody wants a thrill.
Paying anything to roll the dice just one more time. Some will win, some will lose. Some are born to sing the blues. Oh, the movie never ends, it goes on and